Have you ever tried your hand at painting or drawing?
Yes, I enjoy painting with watercolors as a creative hobby.
Are you a fan of documentaries? And if so, what's the last one you watched?
I watched a documentary on marine life conservation recently. It was eye-opening.
Do you enjoy visiting historical landmarks or heritage sites when you travel?
Absolutely, I love learning about the history and culture of different places.
Have you ever taken a cooking class to learn a specific cuisine?
I took a Thai cooking class on my last vacation. I can now make a mean green curry.
Are you a fan of poetry, and do you have a favorite poet?
I enjoy poetry, and Maya Angelou is one of my favorite poets.
Have you ever been to a wine tasting event at a vineyard?
Yes, I went to a vineyard in Napa Valley and tasted some exquisite wines.
Do you like to explore farmers markets for fresh produce and artisanal goods?
I love farmers markets, especially for the variety of fresh fruits and vegetables.
Have you ever tried your hand at yoga or meditation?
I practice yoga regularly to stay both physically and mentally balanced.
Are you a fan of science fiction movies? And if so, which one is your favorite?
I'm a huge sci-fi fan, and Blade Runner is one of my all-time favorites.
Have you ever attended a live comedy show or stand-up comedy night?
I saw a stand-up comedy show recently, and it was hilarious. I couldn't stop laughing.
Do you enjoy watching wildlife documentaries or going on safaris?
Wildlife documentaries are fascinating, and I dream of going on an African safari someday.
Have you ever been to a jazz club or a live jazz performance?
Yes, I've been to a jazz club in New Orleans. The live music was incredible.
Do you like to visit art galleries and appreciate different forms of art?
I find art galleries to be inspiring, and I'm particularly drawn to abstract art.
Have you ever attended a technology conference or expo?
I went to a tech conference last year, and it was mind-blowing to see the latest innovations.
Are you a fan of musicals, and have you seen any on Broadway?
I love musicals, and I saw The Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. It was spectacular.
Have you ever taken a scenic train journey or a cross-country road trip?
I took a scenic train journey through the Swiss Alps. The views were breathtaking.
Do you enjoy exploring different neighborhoods in your city or town?
Yes, I like discovering new cafes and shops in different neighborhoods.
Have you ever participated in a charity event like a charity auction?
I attended a charity auction to support a local children's hospital.
Are you into fashion, and do you have a favorite clothing brand?
I enjoy fashion, and I like supporting sustainable and ethical clothing brands.
Have you ever tried your hand at indoor rock climbing or bouldering?
I went indoor rock climbing once. It was a challenging but fun experience.
Do you enjoy going to art and craft fairs to see unique handmade items?
I love art and craft fairs. It's a great place to find one-of-a-kind gifts.
Have you ever been to a film festival, and if so, which one?
I attended a local film festival showcasing independent films.
Do you like to go camping and roast marshmallows over a campfire?
Camping and making s'mores by the campfire is a must-do summer tradition.
Have you ever taken a ride in a hot air balloon?
Yes, I went on a hot air balloon ride at sunrise. The view was stunning.
Do you enjoy attending book readings or author events?
I attended a book reading by one of my favorite authors. It was inspiring.
Have you ever been on a cruise to explore different countries?
I went on a cruise in the Mediterranean, visiting several beautiful cities.
Do you like to visit botanical gardens and admire the variety of plants?
Botanical gardens are a peaceful escape, and I visit them whenever I can.
Have you ever tried your hand at stand-up comedy or public speaking?
I participated in a public speaking competition in college. It was nerve-wracking but rewarding.
Do you enjoy visiting historical reenactment events?
I went to a Civil War reenactment once. It was like stepping back in time.
Have you ever attended a cooking competition or food festival?
I went to a chili cook-off last summer. The different flavors were amazing.
Do you like to visit national parks and go hiking in the wilderness?
National parks are a treasure, and I've hiked in several of them.
Have you ever participated in a beach cleanup or environmental initiative?
Yes, I've joined beach cleanup events to help protect the environment.
Do you enjoy taking scenic bike rides in your free time?
I love cycling through scenic routes, especially along the coast.
Have you ever been to a Renaissance fair or medieval festival?
I attended a Renaissance fair and enjoyed the costumes and entertainment.
Do you like to explore hidden gem restaurants and cafes in your city?
Absolutely, I love finding unique dining spots off the beaten path.
Have you ever participated in a cultural exchange program?
I did a cultural exchange program in college and lived in Spain for a semester.
Do you enjoy watching cooking shows and trying out new recipes?
I'm a foodie, and I love experimenting with new recipes from cooking shows.
Have you ever taken a road trip to visit multiple national parks?
I went on a road trip to explore the beauty of the American Southwest.
Do you like to visit wildlife sanctuaries and learn about conservation efforts?
Wildlife sanctuaries are educational, and I support their conservation work.
Have you ever participated in a photography contest or exhibition?
I entered a local photography contest and had one of my photos displayed.
Do you enjoy visiting science centers or planetariums?
I find science centers and planetariums to be fascinating and educational.
Have you ever attended a vintage car show or auto exhibition?
I went to a vintage.
Do you like to visit historical battlefields and learn about their significance?
I find historical battlefields to be sobering and a reminder of the past.
Have you ever taken a spontaneous weekend getaway with friends?
Yes, we decided on a whim to head to the mountains for a winter getaway.
Do you enjoy attending film screenings and discussing movies with friends?
Movie nights with friends are a great way to unwind and have fun.
Have you ever been to a science museum with interactive exhibits?
Science museums with hands-on exhibits are a blast, especially for kids.
Do you like to explore ancient ruins and archaeological sites?
Exploring ancient ruins gives me a sense of wonder and history.
Have you ever tried your hand at pottery or ceramics?
I took a pottery class once. It's a therapeutic and creative activity.
Do you enjoy attending music festivals that celebrate different cultures?
I went to a world music festival and enjoyed the diverse musical acts.
Have you ever been on a road trip to visit famous landmarks?
I took a road trip along the East Coast and visited iconic landmarks.
Do you like to explore hiking trails in different countries?
I've hiked in several countries, and each trail offers a unique experience.
Have you ever participated in a community gardening project?
I joined a community garden to grow fresh produce for local charities.
Do you enjoy visiting heritage villages and experiencing traditional culture?
Heritage villages provide a glimpse into the past, and I find them fascinating.
Have you ever attended a music workshop to learn to play an instrument?
I attended a guitar workshop to improve my playing skills.
Do you like to visit historic theaters and watch live performances?
Historic theaters have a unique charm, and I love watching plays there.
Have you ever tried your hand at home brewing or winemaking?
I've dabbled in home brewing and made some interesting craft beers.
Do you enjoy visiting art studios to see artists at work?
I find art studios inspiring and love watching artists create.
Have you ever participated in a cultural festival from a different country?
I attended a Chinese New Year festival and enjoyed the traditional celebrations.
Do you like to explore underground caves or caverns?
Exploring caves is an adventure, and I've visited a few impressive ones.
Have you ever taken a cooking class to learn a specific regional cuisine?
I took a Thai cooking class and learned to make delicious curries.
Do you enjoy visiting historical ships and maritime museums?
Maritime museums are a great way to learn about naval history.
Have you ever participated in a beach volleyball tournament?
I joined a beach volleyball tournament with friends. It was a blast.
Do you like to visit botanical gardens with themed displays?
Botanical gardens with themed displays are both educational and beautiful.
Have you ever attended a wine and cheese tasting event?
I went to a wine and cheese tasting event, and the pairings were delightful.
Do you enjoy visiting science and technology exhibitions?
I find science and technology exhibitions to be mind-boggling and informative.
Have you ever taken a scenic helicopter ride?
I went on a helicopter ride over the Grand Canyon. The views were spectacular.
Do you like to explore historic lighthouses along the coast?
Historic lighthouses have a romantic charm, and I've visited a few.
Have you ever participated in a charity bike ride or cycling event?
I rode in a charity bike event to raise funds for a local children's hospital.
Do you enjoy visiting cultural heritage sites in foreign countries?
I love exploring cultural heritage sites and learning about their significance.
Have you ever attended a Renaissance music performance?
I went to a Renaissance music concert and enjoyed the authentic instruments.
Do you like to visit historical gardens and estates?
Historical gardens are serene, and I've visited some beautiful ones.
Have you ever taken a cooking class to learn how to make sushi?
I attended a sushi making class, and it was a fun and delicious experience.
Do you enjoy attending food festivals that feature international cuisines?
I love food festivals with diverse cuisines from around the world.
Have you ever participated in a wildlife conservation project?
I volunteered for a wildlife conservation project to protect endangered species.
Do you like to explore ancient temples and religious sites?
Exploring ancient temples is a spiritual and enlightening experience.
Have you ever taken a ride in a vintage steam locomotive?
I rode in a vintage steam locomotive and felt like I was in a different era.
Do you enjoy visiting cultural museums with exhibits on different civilizations?
Cultural museums provide insights into the rich history of various societies.
Have you ever participated in a community art project or mural painting?
I contributed to a community art project by painting a mural in a public space.
Do you like to explore historical castles and fortresses?
Historical castles and fortresses have captivating stories to tell.
Have you ever taken a scenic boat tour on a river or lake?
I went on a scenic boat tour along a picturesque river. It was peaceful.
Do you enjoy attending concerts in intimate, acoustic venues?
I love attending concerts in small acoustic venues where the music feels more personal.
Have you ever participated in a photography workshop to enhance your skills?
I attended a photography workshop to improve my composition and editing techniques.
Do you like to visit historic houses and learn about their former residents?
Historic houses offer a glimpse into the lives of their past inhabitants.
Have you ever taken a spontaneous weekend road trip to a neighboring state?
Yes, I once decided on a Friday to drive to a neighboring state for a quick getaway.
Do you enjoy visiting cultural festivals that celebrate traditional music and dance?
I attended a cultural festival with vibrant music and dance performances.
Have you ever participated in a charity run dressed in a fun costume?
I ran a charity 5K in a superhero costume. It was a blast.
Do you like to explore underground caves and marvel at the formations?
Exploring caves with unique rock formations is like entering a different world.
Have you ever taken a guided tour of a historical battlefield?
I joined a guided tour of a Civil War battlefield, and
Do you enjoy attending outdoor theater performances in natural settings?
I watched a Shakespearean play performed outdoors in a beautiful garden.
Have you ever participated in a community gardening project to grow fresh produce?
I joined a community garden initiative to provide fresh vegetables to local shelters.
Do you like to visit historic theaters and watch classic films on the big screen?
I watched a classic film in a historic theater, and it was a nostalgic experience.
Have you ever taken a scenic train journey through picturesque landscapes?
I traveled on a scenic train journey through the Swiss Alps. The views were breathtaking.
Do you enjoy attending cultural festivals that showcase traditional arts and crafts?
I went to a cultural festival with artisans showcasing their craftsmanship.
Have you ever participated in a charity auction to support a cause you care about?
I bid on artworks in a charity auction to raise funds for an environmental organization.
Do you like to explore historic villages and immerse yourself in their traditions?
Exploring historic villages is like stepping back in time, and I find it fascinating.
Have you ever taken a guided tour of a historic ship or naval museum?
I toured a historic naval ship and learned about its role in naval history.
Do you enjoy visiting science museums with interactive exhibits for all ages?
Science museums with hands-on exhibits are not only educational but also fun.
Have you ever participated in a charity bike ride to raise awareness for a cause?
I cycled in a charity bike ride to support cancer research and awareness.
Do you like to visit wildlife sanctuaries and observe endangered species?
Wildlife sanctuaries play a crucial role in conservation, and I support their efforts.
Have you ever attended a historical reenactment event?
I watched a historical reenactment of a Revolutionary War battle. It was impressive.
Do you enjoy exploring botanical gardens with themed displays and seasonal blooms?
Botanical gardens with themed displays offer a feast for the senses.
Have you ever taken a spontaneous road trip to explore a new state or region?
I decided on a whim to take a road trip and discovered charming towns along the way.